afternoon once again to our Zoom and YouTube participants. And for those of you joining us just now, welcome. My role for today is to be your host and moderator for this webinar. I am Vera Chris Villamor. Good. Good afternoon once again to our Zoom and YouTube participants. And for those of you just joining us, welcome. My role for today is to be your host and moderator for this webinar. My name is Vera Chris Villamor, past president for PMAP CEBU, and currently the chair for Fellowship Committee. I am the admin, HR manager, and corporate secretary of AM Swiss Microtech Inc. located in Mactan Economic Zone 1, Lapu-Lapu City. By the way, we have special guests joining us this afternoon. So let me welcome them. We have representatives from the Department of Education, from DSWD, and we have our PMAP family member. This is Mom Lilia Estiliori from the Department of Labor and Employment. And wow, we have this busy and prominent members of Cebu Chambers. Thank you so much, Sir, Mom, for taking your time to be with us. And of course, allow me to mention my HR community from MEPS, and of course, the rest of all our attendees. Oh, by the way, I was told that we have some guests from the media with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you. So now we will be journeying together towards another learnings. But before that, let us put ourselves in the presence of our Lord and pause for a prayer. And this will be immediately followed by our PMAP CEBU video. Thank you. As of now, we already have around 94 participants on Zoom and also about 10 participants on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to share with you that this webinar has been made possible with the all-out support of our partner, your intelligent health choice, IntelliCare. Let's all watch this video.
The challenges of life demand that we measure up. And that's a fact IntelliCare understands and takes seriously. IntelliCare understands that the cycle of healthcare begins when you're healthy. Because we see the big picture and approach healthcare holistically, we make it possible for you to stay well, prevent illness, or catch it early on. It assures you that when you do need it, professional medical care and treatment will be available. So you can take comfort in the fact that we're managing the resources and cost of quality healthcare. Technology makes it possible for us to serve a wider base of customers online, day and night, so that we can focus on improving the numbers that really matter to us. The numbers that track your health, that drive down the cost of quality healthcare, that show you're in the best of health, so that you can strike a healthy balance in life. A balance that's critical and necessary for a life well lived, something we recognize and fully understand.
We are the leader in healthcare management because of a delicate balance we've achieved through the years. We're grounded on our core value of compassion, yet daring enough to make groundbreaking changes. We take pride in the tradition of excellence, yet always open to innovation. We're anchored in our commitment to the Filipino people, yet unfettered as we reach out to serve them better. And why do we do this? Because we believe that good, quality healthcare isn't something one simply aspires for. It is a constitutional right as inalienable as any other basic human right.
IntelliCare, your intelligent health choice.
Okay, just a couple of reminders. If you have any question, please type them into the question box in our Zoom. Or if you want to interact directly with our speaker and ask question, you may raise your hand found at the bottom of your screen. Okay, and okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you familiar with Mentimeter? Oh, I'm sure you are. Now, so get hold of your cell phone, everyone. Go to menti.com. Then use the code 879957 to participate in this quick but fun question and answer. And of course, you'll get a chance to win a prize. Give your company a shout out. We have currently a total of 105 participants. IntelliCare, Leo Lily, oh, sus, tag-una dyan. GMR Megawide, Qualphone, IntelliCare. Wow. I think we have more participants from Qualphone. It's at the center. Golden Prince Hotel, Virginia Farms. Some more. We have 106 participants already registered and joining us. Alja, Mapfre, Orochina Group of Companies. Come on, Globe, CGSI, Innodata, King Properties. Come on, we are now 107. We only have a few. Shout out, shout out. Let your company be heard and known. Virginia Farms. Murag nibalik naman ko. Badian Island. Qual phone at the center. Okay. Pag Grand Thornton, Cebu. Oh, Niapas. I see IntelliCare. I think they're calling all the members to register. IntelliCare is getting bigger. But you can't win versus Qualphone. We now have a total of 109 participants on YouTube. Come on, guys, please shout out, show your company on screen, and everybody will be seeing that. Gothong Southern. What else? Pro Weaver. Lear. Oh, Lear. Yeah, yes, my neighbor. What else do we have? Qualphone. Oh, and Telecare, you cannot beat Qualphone. Qualphone is still there, center, at the center. We have so many participants from Qualphone. Thank you very much for the support. King Properties coming up, IntelliCare coming up, Innodata also. Last 30 seconds. Ready with your shout out. We have 108 participants. Okay. Shout out winner there is Qualphone. So, are you ready? Are you ready for the first question? What's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the word consecrated? Qualphone, faith, sacred, Jesus, set apart. Qualphone, holy, service. Yes, yes, right. Sacred, yes, and set apart, Jesus, correct. And by the way, there is no wrong or right answer to this question. Blessed by God. Yes, correct, right. Thank you so much for all your responses. Now, okay, dedicated to God, Qualphone, declared sacred, a gift, yes. Leadership, belief. What else do we have? Sacred service. Christian, yes. Oh, it says Jocelyn Cannon. Religious, sanctified. Must be one of your staff. Answer that, Jocelyn. Dedicated to God, an offering to God. Yes, yes. Holy, Jesus, faith. Are you now ready for the quiz? We have 3 quiz questions. Any one of this question has the correct answer, but the remaining 2 does not have any right nor wrong answer. You have to answer fast because the top three finishers will win a prize. So answer fast. As soon as I give the question and you know the answer right away. Are you ready? Players, we have 109. We only have less than 25, I think, in this screen that I'm seeing now. We are still waiting for players. Come on. Wrong answer gives 0 point. Waiting for more players. Come on, come on, come on. 109. It's not 109. If we know how to count, it's not 109. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy. No right and wrong answer. Of course, only one has a correct answer, but you have a prize. Top 3. Quick, fast. Okay. Okay, how many do we have? All right, 42 participants. We still have 42 participants. Where are the rest? Just watching. Come on, come on. Anyway, we will not recognize you. Come on. 108. Okay, good to go. All right, go, go. Let's see. First question. Our first question. Answer fast to get more points. What is the name of the company who will be sharing its best practice to us today? Go! Mm-hmm. Where are the answers? Go, go, go! One. Time's up. I hope you have answered. Okay, we have 31 participants who answered it correctly. Okay. Are we ready for the second question? What are the common misconceptions about call centers slash BPOs? Give your answer right now and get a chance to win the prize. Oh, this time, no right, no wrong answer. Oh, time's up. Let me see your answers. Arte. Huh? There's no correct and or wrong answer. It's hard to work in a call center, busy, nocturnal, dead end job, filingera, filingera, caller, call center, easy job, easier than it seems. Chill on, not stable, no employment security, toxic, canceled, canceled, conceited, unsa man, night shift, long working hours, unstable job, work for lazy people. Oh, really? No career growth, low salary. Are you sure? Agent. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. The hustler. Wow, hustler, you really hustle. We have top three. Oh my gosh, they are all equal. Hustler, agent, X9. Oh, we have tie. What's a maninga? They're ties. Do we only have one highest? We have one. Another question last. What do you think would be the quarantine level of Cebu City on July 16? Give your best shot. ECQ, MECQ, or GCQ? What do you think? Go. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Let's take a look. ECQ, GCQ. Yeah, there's no correct answer because we don't know yet. But GCQ, MECQ. Oh, somebody answered barbecue. Wow. Batit gikapoy na ni siya for all the ECQs and all the Qs in the world. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Agent X9JM. Rika. Oh, tie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God. Agent X9 is number 1, but we have JM, Rika, and Han along with Lynn. Oh my gosh. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 prizes to be delivered to their doorstep. To the winners, please send us through the chat box your complete address, your name, and also your contact number. Okay, now we are ready. Are we all ready to our webinar? Ladies and gentlemen, now allow me to introduce our speaker. Our speaker for today belongs to a passionate group of leaders who are committed to its company's mission. He enjoys his role as a company leader and adding to the creation of fulfilling careers for his employees, as well as the best services for their clients. For him, the mission is accomplished on a person to person basis, one conversation at a time. His company, Qualphone, is a consecrated BPO whose mission statement is be the best, make each person's life better. He is responsible for operational excellence, building strategically tailored solutions, and ensuring that his company continuously delivers on client needs. Our speaker has been with Qualphone for over 15 years and acted as Chief Sales and Marketing and Client Relations Officer, then as Chief Information Officer before taking on the role of President. He says his spirituality has helped guide his way with Qualphone, which is more than that of a call center because they answer to a call, the greater call from above. He uses business to glorify God by helping each person become the best version of themselves, their family, and the community. Our speaker indeed is not just a leader, but a mission leader. Ladies and gentlemen, to share their best practice on leading a mission driven remote team, keeping them engaged and high performing, let us all welcome the Managing Director of Qualphone, Mr. Abelardo Cruz.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Vera. That was quite an introduction. I deeply appreciate it. So I guess I have about an hour to, share what this is, what this is all about, right? What we are all about in Qualphone. So thank you for the opportunity, PMAP, and all of those participants listening. Thank you for the opportunity for sharing this. I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Here we are. So there's a number of words that were popped in the questions and in the introduction, as well as the title of this presentation. And Vera spoke about me being a mission leader, and so we're going to talk about what that mission is. We'll address it during the presentation. But also very important is that as we see here in the title, it talks about a mission driven, and so something is driving our company, and we're going to talk about that engine, what that engine is. And I'm going to try to do the best to do that during this hour we have together today. We have a remote team in the past in our practice as a BPO company, and I'll speak about what BPO is in our world. What do we do? um, we tend to think that we have a remote team because they're in a different place. And so, for example, today I'm here in Houston and speaking to you from my home. And our team, the team that I'm responsible for, is based out of the Philippines in Cebu and Dumaguete. Although we have other sites in the Philippines, those two sites specifically are within my area of responsibility. So for me, that's my remote team, and for them, I'm remote to them. But now remote has a different meaning, and we're going to speak about what that is, because remote now has a whole different meaning based on what happened in early this year. Keeping them engaged, and why is this so important? Because engagement, when we're one next to each other, when we're close and we can see each other and we can talk to each other and shake hands and laugh and smile and maybe share lunch, it's a little bit easier than when we don't see each other like we used to. So that became a very critical area for us as we had to embark on weathering the storm that we call COVID-19. And not only engaged is important, but in our line of business and any company, we need to perform well. So keeping ourselves engaged, but at the same time, high performing, those were critical components. So we're going to be talking about all of that during this. The word consecrated came up, and so we're going to share what the best practices are in our learnings. Have in mind that this is, a work in progress, right? We are working and trying to do the best we can for our clients and for our team members or family members. But it's a journey, right? It's not that we're there yet. It's not that we perfected everything. No, we're far from that. We're learning. So I'm going to share with you what we've learned so far, but have in mind that it's a work in progress. And been consecrated, and I'll speak about that. And what does that mean? And there's different connotations to that and different backgrounds, but I'll speak to that as well as we go through. Um, so in 1995, we started as a company in Mexico. And Mexico and the Philippines has a very close relationship. Many, many, many years ago, the Spaniards, made Mexico what they used to call the New Spain. Eventually, it was called Mexico, which means country under the sun. Under the moon. And and it has a special meaning, because then eventually that has a meaning, especially when you look at the spiritual side of things. But then there was a connection that was built out of Mexico from another Spaniard that came with another group of Spanish folks to, find eventually what is now the Philippines. And that connection started there, and it's been fantastic. Uh, in our case, what do we do as a company as we started in 95? We started as an ISP, meaning we provided services like a carrier-like service, so providing bandwidth when it was a dial-up service. And we were not a carrier, but we were servicing those that were clients to IBM. And we had a partnership with them, and we started servicing by selling the service, and we also service those clients by supporting them with tech support as well as care. Eventually that disappeared, and we don't do that anymore. That's many, many years ago that we stopped that. But we eventually moved into what we do now, which is we're a call center company. We have multiple sites in the US, in Mexico, South America as well. And we had different places within the Americas over time. But now we do have sites in the Philippines, and of course, Manila is one of them. Cebu have a site, and then Dumaguete, we have two sites. And then we also have a site in India. We do things like, for example, calls for clients or customers or subscribers. We do back office work. We take care of processing cases for them, chat work, inbound calls, mostly inbound chats, mostly. We do process email for them as well. And in general, that's what you would call a business process outsourcing. So some of the processes of our clients are separated from what they typically did in-house, and they want someone else to take care of them. And that's what we do. We take care of those processes for them. Now, there's a word that we popped in the beginning, and there was a question about it. The meaning of consecrated, what is that? And that's what reflects on who we are. And Vera also mentioned about calling, and being a call center company has an interesting name and connection to it, is where there's a lot of calls that are answered, phone calls typically, we will think. But we also think that there's a lot of calling that comes from God that we, in our case, are responding to, but others that are part of our company, our Qualphone, are also responding to. And our role as a consecrated company, which means set apart from the worldly things. And does that mean that we're no longer a company? No, it means that we're still a company, but our focus is not to be a company for the sake of profits or for the sake of just being successful as a company. We want to be a successful company for the sake of being able to respond to one very special call from God that was planted in the heart of our founder, Alfonso. And we seek on that to do more than the typical business logic. It's, yes, the company has to be profitable, but we want to do it in a way that we share God's love with all those that work in the company, as well as wherever we work in the communities and wherever we participate. Um, we have that being converted into our main purpose. So that call that was planted into Alfonso became our main purpose for us as a company. And he's been inviting us to be part of it. And of course, it's optional. Each one that joins the company hears and understands what we're about, and if they like it, if they think it's for them, then they say, "Yeah, I'm in," and they're part of it. But hey, we're human, so as we're working on this mission that orients us, we know that it's a journey, and we can lose track, we can fall, we can stumble, and that's part of why we always, as a team and as a family, we're collectively trying to always stay the course, and that course is lighted by that mission, which comes from that call that was given to Alfonso. It transforms everything we do internally as well as externally. Our culture is very unique, tailored around it. All our procedure, base, or we call it our best practices and processes, all of it is a framework that is around with policies and programs that support that mission, that make it workable, make it actionable. It's not a nice, set of words only, but it's also a connection of actions that allows us to drive towards making it a reality. And also that we can help, all of those that work in the company, as well as all of those that we work with outside the company and in the communities where we also operate. And that's fundamentally what Alfonso received as the call in the company. And that became a reality, and that's where we became a consecrated company. And it actually happened in 2006 in Cebu. It's a beautiful opportunity that we were flying there to Cebu, and Alfonso felt that that was the right moment to do this. And you see this 4 images on your screen. The consecration was essentially, he felt the call to give the company to our Lord Jesus Christ, and he said, "I'm going to give it to him, but I'm going to give it to him through the hands of Our Lady of Guadalupe." So that she can take good care of this company, make sure that we're giving it to him in a proper way. But we're going to need a lot of intercession, so that's why she's there, and a lot of protection. That's why Saint Michael the Archangel is there as well, because we're in a never-ending battle, right? Every day. And then, of course, work, association of work, and what we do is work and work for others. So we needed also the help of Saint Joseph. So that's why you see these 4 images here, and you're going to see them in any of our board meetings and all of our management meetings and all of these special events we have in our book as well, because our critical framework of who we are, of our identity as a company. Now, this company was founded and motivated in delivering love, right? In delivering things that are intangible, services. Um, so essentially, we need to be excellent when we do whatever we do for our clients. Why is that important? Because if we do that well, if we deliver, with great level of excellence, and we're some of the best within the providers of our clients, we then have the ability to sustain this company financially, sustain this company with more employment opportunities. And that allows us to take care of the second point here, take care of our employees and their families, as well as the communities where we operate. So one and the other go together. So we don't do this for the sake of being a business, pure business only, and just have great success as a business. We do this for the sake of being able to sustain and support the fact that we want to take good care for our employees, families, and the communities where we operate. If we don't do one, we can do the other, and vice versa. Those are two part of the same coin, but they're two different faces. Now, in everything we do, we want to honor God, and so we want to help each and every one of the individuals that we get in touch with pursue their total vocation, that is whatever they're called into. And that's why being a call center is interesting, because each one of us has a special call or a special calling, and we want to help that be a reality. So if a person has a calling to become a doctor and they can get there through working with us, we want to be able to help them get there. If they're going to be an HR professional and they can do that through working with us and learning to get there through the works in Qualphone, we want to do that. There's a lot of teachers that we help become teachers, a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers as well, that we like to help in their journey to become that better version of themselves, or answering to that total vocation they have. And to do that, we need to develop and create a lot of career opportunities, so that there's opportunities for all those individuals to move around the company. We have a number of individuals within Qualphone that started as an agent. And back to some of the questions that were posted earlier today, there's not a lot of career opportunities. I think some of them mentioned that, or it's not a lot of chance for growth. I think the opposite. I think give the case of my VP of operations in my group, in our team. He started as an agent 16 years ago. And he's now the VP of operations and client relations for us, in my team, and a very successful individual. He learned from the ranks and moved around in different roles within the operations, and now he is the head of our operations. Takes care of thousands of families under his leadership. So there's a lot of great opportunities. Look at my case. I started as the head of sales and marketing for the company, eventually CIO, and then president of a group, and now I'm the managing director of the team that I manage for the company. So there's career opportunities within our company, and we try to do that as much as we can. And of course, it depends on the individual and what they want to achieve in life. Well, we also want to make sure that we become and are that partner of choice for our clients. And why is that important? Because at the end of the day, we need to deliver results. If we deliver results for our clients, we will survive and weather the bad storms like the ones we're living right now, and we'll be able then to have the funding, the revenue, the income to be able to sustain and support the company, and provide job opportunities for many that can then at the same time help them support their families. So it's a cycle that is a virtuous cycle that we think works really, really nice. Now, at the end of the day, what's the summary of this mission is we want to be the best at whatever we do, because if we do our working to be the best and we become some of the best for our clients, we will be able to weather storms and stay longer servicing those clients. Because if we do that, we can then help make each person's lives better. And they'll learn through what they do in their everyday work, and they also be able to learn through all the different programs that we have packaged around the Qualphone experience. And we'll talk a little bit more about what those programs are. But hey, all of this sounds nice, but then guess what? Then comes COVID-19, and it all started kind of interesting. It sounded like it was not a big deal, and then it all became a super big deal. And now we all know we're facing it, and we're all in that storm. So there's key questions here. Has that affected our operation? Yes, it has. In many cases, it produced us to reduce services for some clients, because they had to reduce the level of service they needed. They had to let go of some of their own employees, and they had less volume, less calls, less work, less business. Some businesses that we were servicing had to close down. Some other businesses had to, put everything in pause for the moment. So that made us have to shuffle around and look for other opportunities where we could help produce other, job opportunities for those that were working for us. We've been super blessed to being able to balance out, how many we had working for a number of companies before COVID, and then how many we have working now. It's about the same number, but guess what? There's a lot of clients that disappeared, and then new clients that came on board, and then some of the existing clients that actually needed more support. So yes, it affected our operations. It affected the way that we operated. We're going to talk about that quite a bit. We had to do a lot of things differently. Did it affect our people? Of course, yes. It produced a lot of fear, a lot of concerns. It made us have to do things that we never thought possible, and we had to trust quite a bit. We're going to speak about trust quite a bit today. We had to trust that somebody was going to be, captaining this boat as we were going through this bad storm, and we know who that is. The one that, we consecrated the company to, but we needed to trust our team as well. But there was fears, and there was a lot of concerns, and a lot of things that had to be changed. And so, yeah, it affected our people. Did it challenge our mission? Oh, yeah, of course. It produced a lot of temptations for us. Guess what? Under what happened and what's happening, there's a lot of nice excuses to, let individuals go, to reduce headcount, to cut services, to cut things out, to eliminate things we used to do before. And we would have felt that it was a good justifiable reason why we do that, or we were doing that reduction. So it produced a lot of temptations. But at the end of the day, we're wanting to serve those that are working in the company, help them, be a better person. So how can we help them if they're no longer with us? So we needed to do the best we could to hold on to those jobs so that they could have an income, so that they can provide for their families, because we knew their families were going to be struggling. A lot of them out of jobs. A lot of them could not earn as much as they were earning before, or they would not be able to earn at all. So we needed to help our team members hold on to their jobs as long as possible, and then help them through it with other additional supports. So I'll speak about what the things we had to do as we go through the timeline. And I'll start by presenting that timeline starting in January. So first of all, January 30, everyone was talking about there's this virus, there's this risk, this potential, this is out there. So we began deploying some safety measures and posters, and kind of educating our teams on it. Have in mind that we had to, kind of learn through it and get a lot of guidance from above as we were doing this, because this had never been done, right, in the planet. And it had never been done in our industry as well at this level, right? There's other levels of business continuity, but this level it's unprecedented. It's never happened. So we really had to do a lot of new things and learn through it, and trust that we were doing the right thing. First week, setting up a satellite clinic, distributing vitamins and washable face masks for 3,200 employees. And I'm concentrating here in Cebu. We had to do this for our sites in Manila. We had to do this for our sites in Dumaguete as well. We were blessed with the fact that Manila was a little bit ahead in terms of the impact, and we were able to learn through it. Our site in Manila was more impacted, but there was a lot more learnings that we were able to leverage from it to be able to apply in Cebu and Dumaguete. So part of what you see here is we're leveraging those learnings that we unfortunately had to, learn through fire in Manila. None of what you're going to see here is possible without all the support of many, many, many partners. So deep thanks to hotel owners that helped us. Deep thanks to transportation companies and owners that helped us and are still helping us. Um, our healthcare providers, big help from them. Government organizations, um, institutions of different sorts, organizations of different sorts, all of them helping us. Um, there was IT companies and providers that jumped in, and having to stay home, they were supporting and helping us getting parts and getting inventory. Our carriers, Globe and PLDT, thanks to them as well. They were providing us services in making sure things were delivered and up and running. Um, you know, uh, Clinic personnel, cleaning personnel, delivery, you name it. It was a lot of partners, and a landlord, where we are, all of them um, helping us in making sure that we're able to do this and make this a reality. So thank you very much. Appreciate this opportunity to thank them. In March, we had to stop travel and put a travel ban or limitations on travel and remedial measures on COVID. Started communication campaigns, daily call outs, manual daily records. We had to look at, hey, we need to manage time differently and track time differently. So we had to, use another timekeeping tool we have as a company and start deploying some individuals to work from home. We had to look at what the additional costs were for them and take care of that. So we created some allowances for electricity and internet connectivity. Um, Deployed some more tools, for remote assistance. We had to provide some free meals and hotel accommodations, and set up some on-site accommodations as well, so that others could stay there. Um, we we had to continue hiring, and that was interesting because uh, where are you going to interview them, and how are you going to test them? How are you going to not test for COVID, but test for proficiency and skills? Um, how do you do that in when there's always risk around, right? So we had to create a virtual remote, recruiting, as well as virtual remote training. We had to launch chat, some chat platforms to be able to have access to our team members wherever they were. And of course, I spoke about all the partners that helped us, including universities. We want to be very thankful to them, and schools providing us equipment for loan. Hey, use this, use our headsets. Some of them offered us computers. It's amazing all of the support we got from them. But then we also had to do something that was critical, and it's critical to our mission. It's including the spirituality in everything we do. And so we created a prayer break every Monday to Friday, to have a place where everyone can join and just pray and ask for help and thank God and ask for guidance. Um, then we had to face a challenge here. Government was recommending, hey, give the 13-month in advance or part of it to help your employees weather the storm. And we thought about it, quite a bit, and we said to ourselves, well, if we do that, we're going to take some of their money they're expecting to get later, because we pay it in two parts, and that first part was coming in June. We would be taking that away from them, and they might be needing it in June. So we created a special fund to help them, and that's additional fund on top of the 13-month, so that we didn't touch that 13-month, and we gave them some special allowance for them to be able to buy groceries and reload their cell phones, because we knew that there was no mobility, or there was not going to be mobility, and they were going to be needing to have food supplies and some other supplies for their families. So we did that proactively. We also worked with a foundation we have as a company, New Generations Foundation, and asked for all of the members in the company that wanted to help out to donate PTO or donate money or anything they had to donate to help those in need, because there were going to be many, many in need through this. We were able to support a number of employees that were really, really in need, and we still are today supporting them through those funds. City Health audit, and of course that was critical, and we thank them very much for guiding us through this. So they did some audits and they helped us with, pointers, do this, do that. So we set up our space to be able for those that were going to be working on site to stay safe. And then there was issues with some employees that couldn't get to work. So some of them we had to, they had to stay as LOA, give them special permission to be off and help them with groceries and medicine. But then all of this was happening through all this chaos and all of those new places of work that is their home, where they typically rest and have their family, connection, became now the new norm for them. And then all this fear around, and there's a lockdown, and all of this happening. So we needed to create an opportunity for our chaplains that we have internally to reach out and have sessions and care sessions with them virtually. So that was very critical. We still are doing that today. We had to massively transport agents and, of course, their equipment to their homes. I spoke about virtual new hire training and onboarding. We had to provide meals for those frontliners in hospitals and checkpoints. There was a lot of folks that needed support and help, so we were also able to help with that. But guess what? Our employees need coaching. They need to continue learning and improving. So, because we want to be the best, right? So, we created e-coaching through MS Teams and pre-shift meetings and post-shift meetings so that they could meet with their supervisors. We also created a Facebook page for our chaplains so they could be talking to our team members or whoever wants to, and have different talks and provide some more guidance and support. Virtual events, a lot of them team events that were created for engagement purposes and activities. And this was led and it's so today still led by our mission team. And we have a team dedicated to make sure that we are staying the course on our mission. And they became, jack of all trades, helping us transport, helping us take care of those in need, and engagement activities and support, risking their lives and their health. So we thank them for that. And there's many cases here, but then eventually in May we had lockdowns in IT Park, and we had to have a skeleton workforce, right? Essentially very minimum folks on site, so almost everyone working from their home. Now, that's very different to where we were operating and how we were operating. Back to the question I was posting before, did this affect our operations? Oh, yes, it did. And so the question is, how do we lead them now that it's a remote team? And this is a new meaning for remote. And now they're remote to the site. They're no longer remote only from a country point of view, but they're remote to their supervisor, they're remote to their quality analyst, they're remote to their operations managers and the person office support and IT support. They're remote, everyone's remote. So we said, well, we want to be the best, right, at everything we do. So let's use the word best. And what does that mean? Best has 4 specific words here. And I'm going to use those to show what that means and what we had to do. First one, be a mission leader. And that means for us to be 3 dimensions and always taking care of those 3 dimensions, especially now. Be a good mentor, be a strong manager, and a strong messenger. We always need to, be sharing as best practices, mentoring others, managing those that are not, someone that I can see anymore. I know they're there in the hyperspace and the E space, and I need to be able to learn how to manage them through this tools that we have now and through a different way of messaging. We had to message things differently. we had to be more specific and more clear than ever before on the realities of what we were living as a company, as a country, and as the world overall, and then what we were going to do to, at the end, help them take care of themselves and their families. That was our main purpose. How do we extend that love to them in what we do as a company? And on the E, embrace digitalization. So we were working on a lot of digital tools before, but a lot of other things we were able to do person to person and in a live person to person setting. Not anymore. So a lot of them were somewhere else. We didn't see them. So we had to learn and embrace how to work in a digital environment, almost everything we do. In my case, for me, it's been 10 years that I've been working remote out of my home office in Houston. And for me, it was not a big change, but it was a big change for most of our teams. Thousands of employees in Cebu, Dumaguete, and Manila had to learn how to work in a digital environment all the time without having that personal touch, that person-to-person contact. Um, for that, we had to work on the next word, S. We're always sincere. We always want to be honest, but in this case, we had to consciously work on being a lot more clear and make sure that whatever they were getting from us was a true, honest communication of the reality and what we assessed as the potential risks and the opportunities and the forecast, how things are coming, what's happening. Are we going to have something tomorrow or not? And why was that very important? Well, guess what? All around their lives, there was a bunch of family members that were losing their jobs. They were out of a job, out of income, and it could happen to them, right? That's in their mind. They're thinking about that. And then, how am I going to help my family if I don't have a job? So we needed to make sure that they heard from us. Hey, we're solid with our client. We're solid with what we're doing. There's no reduction. We're going to keep you here, to the best of our abilities. You do your part, do your work well, do it with excellence, do it better than ever before. Be flexible, adapt, and do the best you can under the circumstances. Here we are to help you, but we're going to make sure that we have that job here for you. We thought that was critical messaging during the time of uncertainty that we had to go through. And that produced a lot of relief together with the supporting activities that we provided, that extra money that we provided for groceries and cell phone reload, transportation, hoteling, medical help, chaplain support, mission support, engagement activities. All of that around made it a reality for them. And so that's why you know we had to make it an effort to do things that were super clear for them, but also at the same time presenting an uplifting opportunity for them to trust that there's a better future coming. And that connects me to the word T, the letter T, which is trust. And we had to trust each other in this environment because we didn't see each other anymore. And then we also had to trust that someone was, captaining this boat that is a lot more capable than we are, our Lord. And we had to pray a lot and pray through each one of our meetings. Before the meeting, we prayed a lot for each other, and we still pray a lot for each other. And we're always asking God to help us and guide us. Now, at the end of the day, when someone's working from home, they might feel disconnected. They might feel like they're no longer part of a team. They might feel like, what am I doing here? I don't feel the sense of team, of family, of environment that I used to be part of. So we thought it was important to work on engagement. Engagement was critical, and that's a fundamental part of what we've been working on. Um, so this is from a consecrated company perspective, right? There's different ways of engagement that many companies or many organizations can have in their mindset, but in our point of view, this is from our, we're a consecrated company. So we need to take that into heart, continue to use that as a guideline for us. And that's why we have our core values that guide our actions. And those core values are on your left, and is service, teamwork, results, integrity, dignity, encouragement, and spirituality. Those are essentially produced a reflection of a lot of the things that we did and have been doing, like the transportation and hoteling, like financial assistance, like the mobile allowance, extensive site sanitation, skeleton workforce and compressed work week on site to be able to minimize the risk for our employees, free meals for those in hotels and on site, you know, you name it. And there's also work from home support and help, and together with the chaplains as well as the mission team, as well as remote IT support and supervision. So all of them had to translate our desire to live our mission and through the lenses of those values into these actions that you see here. Um, some companies did something similar, some other companies did something different. At the end of the day is, why did we do this? Did we do this for the sake of helping the company survive? Yes. Why did we want the company to survive? So that we can provide those employment opportunities to those that work with us so that they can help their families. That was our core driving factor here and purpose. So those stride values continue to illuminate in other things that we're doing, like, for example, the care coaches and chaplaincy that we spoke about, the COVID-19 emergency fund that I spoke about, providing for groceries and medicines for those employees that are in lockdown areas, financial assistance for those that are stranded that can't go to work. We had to find quarantine homes and places to have our folks quarantine. We provide that. But at the end of the day, we have 90% of our workforce are working from home. And also some of them needed to send money home to their families, so we also helped them with that. Now we needed to educate our team members because this is a new reality we're facing, right? This is a new storm that has different tides, different winds. The waves have different height and force. So we had to give them a lot of training. So we learned from our internal team that has been for about 10 years has had some work from home in some of our US sites. And so we took a lot of the learnings that they've collected over the years, and we made a curriculum for our folks to be able to learn how to better deal with this, this new reality, how to work from home, living the mission at home, training team members at home, leading at home, technology requirements at home, you name it. You can read it on the screen. But all of that was produced and sent out in a virtual environment so that everyone can read and train themselves. Other things that were important to keep that engagement going is, this year is our 14th anniversary for CEBU. And so we didn't want to stop celebrating, but we had to think about, hey, we need to do it virtually. So we created a way to do it virtually, and then looked at Facebook and other tools out there to work on trivia games and other opportunities to continue, producing opportunities for engagement. Part of engaging is also servicing the basics, like laundry assistance program, online wellness activities, stay in shape, do your exercise, virtual seasonal activities that we typically had in person. Happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day as well. And then I did speak about the virtual team huddles that we have before shift, after shift, and during special occasions. Those are happening all the time, every day. But also our person office, they created something we call POTS, person office development sessions, so that we kept on educating our teams as we were going through this storm. What does Gallup say about employee engagement, and why am I talking about engagement so much? At the end of the day, what they're tracking is that in response to COVID-19 crisis, they think that employee engagements and employer engagement has improved. There's the companies have different answers to this, and when they were asked, right? Um, but more than 30 million people have become unemployed, and for now, um, you know, it's difficult to have an employee, engagement or response to that, because there's a lot of folks that are unemployed. A lot of them are out of work. But if you look at this, what Gallup's saying based on their studies, um, number one is there's less or lower level of stress and worry if the person is engaged. That's one big key finding here. So if a person's engaged, they feel and they have less opportunity to be stressed about things, right? Um, so we care about them. We want to make sure they feel the love that we have for them. So we need to make sure we keep engaging with them. And uh, why is that engagement improving during this pandemic? And there's three factors that Gallup found. The employment base is smaller. And what happens is that there's less employers out there, and companies are shutting down, closing doors. And so, the employees that do have a job, they engage more because they want to hold on to it, right? They feel fortunate to have work. And that's a big feeling that we've heard loud and clear from our teams. And the employer response to this crisis is improving as well. Now, when you have engagement, you have a motivated employee, right? The employee experience is better, right? And that produces more satisfaction to them. And motivated employees translate to more engaged employees. So it's logical that it works, that it's good for them and it's good for the company, right? But at the end of the day, we want to do it for them because they're our family. And we're not only around feeling good only, right? We're about feeling good, yes, do the right thing for our employees and our family members, yes, but we need to deliver results. And I spoke about being the best, and that's why we measure ourselves all the time, and we survey ourselves every 2 weeks, and we continue to do that. But guess what? Over this pandemic, each one of these questions have improved. I feel motivated by my immediate supervisor. This is better than last year. Next question. Qualphone has a healthy physical and mental work environment. Think about the question, right? Now they're working out of their home. This improved against last year. Last year and overall was 284 out of 5, and now it's 309. So they think it's better than last year. Amazing. In my current position, I know what's expected of me. Hey, guess what? They're driving on their own. They don't have a lot of supervision, but guess what? What they answered is 3.35 work from home. So a lot higher than last year. It used to be 3.28. Qualphone values my ideas and opinions. So they need to feel and understand that we're listening. We can't do everything they recommend or suggest, but we need to listen and hear and get their ideas, and we need to make sure that we communicate back to them. They feel that that's better than last year. I enjoy my job at Qualphone. It's better than last year, quite a bit, 3.30 for all the agents against 3.11 for last year. So they actually enjoy more their job than last year. So that's amazing. And then they think that we're doing the right thing for the communities where we work or we operate, 3.23 against 3.13 for last year. They think we're doing better for the communities where we're contributing. So all of this takes us down to certain indicators that we're always measuring, and we don't do it for the sake of the indicators. We do it for the sake of doing the right thing for our team members and then for our employees that are critical to our family, but also for the communities where we operate and our clients, of course. um, what we've been measuring, and engagement is at 95%, and the industry standard right now is at 68. So that's an amazing difference. Our attrition is right now showing at 29%, roughly in that neighborhood. And if you look at that for the year, the projected attrition for this year in the industry is around 68%. That's a huge difference. Do we do it for that? No, no, we don't do it for that. But that's a consequence that I wanted to bring out. That engaging those remote in us, in our point of view as a consecrated company and how we do it, is producing these results. Um, and guess what? You know, a lot of those that are listening now, if in your role, whatever role you have, and if you're a company owner, if you work for the government, if you work for, you know, for a company, you can also do what we have done: consecrate what you do, offer it to the Lord, and have Him guide you. He always takes you to the right harbor. I can assure you that. And you can see it here on the ENPS, so Employee Net Promoter Score, 82%. Just to give you an idea, the industry is at 65%. So employees are, you know, more willing to recommend working at our company, 82% versus 68% in, 65% in the industry. So all of this takes us down to, why do we do this? Because we want to be the best. Are we the best? No. Are we wanting to say and sing victory? No, we cannot, because it's a journey. And our mission is a journey that is going to take us to a harbor that we still don't know what that harbor looks like. But we're going and weathering through this storm, knowing that we're guided by our Lord, who, you know, who we entrusted this company to through the founder of the company. And we want, through that journey, through the storm, make each person's life better. And it's a day at a time, it's a person at a time, it's a conversation at a time, it's the whole company. And we're going to fail, we're going to make mistakes. We're not a perfect company for sure, but we're going to try and we're going to do our best. And we know that the one up there, the one Almighty, is always guiding and helping us. And you can do the same as well. So I wish you all the best during this storm that we're all weathering as a planet. And I know that, you know, at the end of the day, we'll end up in a better place and being stronger and better. And thank you very much for the opportunity to sharing our practices here on this. And I will open this up now for Q&A.
Thank you so very much, Sir Abel. Actually, before anything else, we would like to thank you because, in case you didn't know, to all our participants, he is joining us from Houston, and it's about 2:25 in the morning right now. Correct, sir?
But it feels like 2:25 p.m. for me.
So it is indeed like as you said, you're all motivated by love. This is
Yes.
your love to share and for us to learn and gain insights from what you were just sharing us earlier. So thank you so very much.
Thank
It is indeed very inspiring and to note, taken from this session, that really mission driven leaders help all employees and managers understand and boldly affirm what the company hopes to achieve and pulls toward the desired results. It is very inspiring, and all of us learned a lot from your talk. Now, let's go ahead and take some time for questions. Just a friendly reminder, if you have any question, please type them into the question box in our Zoom. Or if you want to interact and ask the question directly to our speaker, you may click the hand found at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so let's start with our first question. Okay, here. Having successfully set up the work from home arrangement, are you looking at it as one of the arrangement options of your employees, even after the pandemic? With what you have been through setting it up, would you recommend it also considering the mental, social, and spiritual health of the employees?
Yes. Yes to both. We think that this is going to take some time. You know, just be realistic on the expectations, right? Let's say that there's a vaccine tomorrow. and vaccine comes out, and how long before the planet gets vaccinated, right? And the whole city and whole employment base is going to take some time, and there's still going to be cases popping here and there, and it's always going to be risky, right? So the reality is that we're going to have this, this unwanted companion, I would call it, for a while. And so, and talking and working with our client, we think that it's best to stay at home as long as possible. And we think that that will be our reality for the next, you know, 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And then potentially then return back to our site some that are healthy, that have no health issues, that are wanting to go back, that feel that's the best place for them. You know, setting up the space, properly, of course, social distancing and all the sanitation and
Yes.
all the checkpoints that have to be in place. But, for those that want to go back, have that option. And those that might have connectivity problems, or they might not have the right working environment at home. They might feel that working at home is not conducive for them, or
Mhm.
it's too noisy, or their connection is not good enough. So they might be others that might want to be back home into their office home instead of working out of their home and saying, hey, it's better for me because I can be more productive. So I think it's going to be a hybrid, more towards staying at home than working on site. But then eventually and over time, I think we're going to keep folks working from home, on the long run. And I don't know the percentage, but I think we're going to keep some on the long run anyway.
Okay, thank you. There's another question here. Thank you for sharing your best practices, and I am overwhelmed of the company's support to their employees. Indeed. You mentioned about giving mobile allowance. Are you providing as well electricity, internet connectivity allowance to your employees on work from home arrangement?
Yes, we are. And we have provided from the beginning electricity and connectivity allowance.
Mhm.
For those that were putting in their bandwidth, we told
Yes.
them, hey, we're going to use your bandwidth, so we're going to give you a sum to compensate for that. And the electricity as well, hey, we estimated the cost to be at certain level. We're going to provide this amount to compensate for that. Now we're moving into a phase where it's going to be more new normal to stay
Mhm.
at home. And so most likely electricity allowance will be discontinued soon, because we see that there's a lot of other savings that are in play. For example, a lot less transportation cost, a lot of less cost on meals and things like that. So we want to make sure that at the end of the day, they're making better, they're doing better economically. So, but yes, we're providing those to our team members.
Okay, here's another one. How do you take care of the mental health of your employees?
We have multiple programs that I did mention some of them. One of them is our care coaches or chaplains.
Mhm.
They reach out to employees, or they're open and able to be reached out by the employees, and they get a number of sessions booked constantly. And somebody needs help, they can always reach out to them. Hey, I'm going through this, I'm suffering, I don't like it, I feel concerned, I'm afraid, I'm stressed, whatever it is, they can help them. And then there's also the person office. The person office, of course, in our case, is the human resources area. And that's always available and ready to help the employees bounce back or connect the dots in between them and whatever they need. Um, hey, how are you doing? You're missing work. What's going on? Or you were late to your shift, even though you're at home. What's going on? What's happening? So they're
Mhm.
always reaching out. Then they also have connectivity through our mission activities that are, virtual opportunities, as well as those opportunities for those that, hey, this person needs help. They need an opportunity to be part of something else besides work. So the mission team's always creating opportunities for them to be part of, hey, we're helping this individuals here and there, you want to be part of it. We're
Mhm.
putting this together, you want to be part of that team. So creating opportunities for them to distract themselves. Because we had an interesting phenomena. We had a lot of folks wanting to stay online, taking calls or working longer than before. We
Oh,
actually had to disconnect them because they wouldn't stop working. So we had to help them have a good life work balance. And that's part of what we're trying to do.
now you have to disconnect them to stop working.
Yes, yes.
Okay, there's another question from Chris Rosenthal. I have a strong appreciation for spirituality. I think it's a key differentiation or differentiator in the BPO industry. My question is, how do you respond when people are not appreciative of this or not aligned to the spiritual well-being culture?
Well, um, it's a gift, right? Each one
Mhm,
receives that. It's a gift from God,
mhm,
in whatever faith God gave them. Some might have been called to be Christians of different denomination. Some might have been called to be a Mormon. Some might have been called to be Jewish. Some, might have been called to some of those, but they decided not to follow anything, and they are atheist or they are agnostic, right? um, and we love each other for who they are, and we offer them the opportunity to work in their spiritual domain. Our chaplains guide them in whatever call they have, in whatever faith call they have, or they don't have any, right? So we respect them for who they are, and if they don't feel that that's something they want to do, or they don't want to explore, or they don't want to live it, that's something we respect. We know and think that if they live their spirituality, they're going to have a more fulfilled life. We believe in that deeply in our hearts, but that's a choice that they have to make on their
yeah.
own, and we respect it.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Mhm.
So this one is from Lilia Esteliori from the Department of Labor and Employment. How do you check if workers indeed are working from home as you expect them to be?
Oh yes, that's a good question. Well, it, we check by the fact that they log in. We have logging, tracing. So the fact they log in, and then once they log in, for us to consider them working is they have to take calls, or they have to be working on chats, or they have to be working on cases or email work, and we can track that remotely. We see what they're doing remotely, and there's some cases, some individuals that we've seen that they put themselves on a status where they don't receive calls and they don't do any work, and we've had to discipline them, right? We had to tell them, hey, what's going on, and talk to them and coach them. And some of
Mm,
them said, "Hey, you know what, it's because I don't want to do this anymore." All right, we understand. um, but we have ways of monitoring that, and tracking their hours, and tracking that they're actually working, and the clients can track that as well. They have visibility into what they're doing in their computer. So there's different tools that help us be a good coach and mentor for them, even if we're not looking and watching what they're doing.
yes, and as you have mentioned earlier, you trust your employee because
Yes.
they will have to trust their mission leader as well.
Yeah, and they feel this special drive to want to keep their jobs more than ever, right? Under the circumstances. So it's an interesting, way of looking at their true colors, and they come out and they truly are doing a great job.
Okay, uh, one more. Do we have what? Do we have time for one more question? We still have time. Okay. Um, what a wonderful practices you have. Your employees are very blessed for what your company is doing for them. There are employers who have complaints in their employees' productivity that is totally different from working on site. How do you manage performance with your employees? I think you mentioned this. I know BPO has KPIs, but do you think measuring time versus measuring output makes sense?
Yeah, well, we measure both because we get our revenue is based on time and outcome for our clients. So we do the same for our team. But one thing I would like to mention is that we've seen our overall numbers improve over this last 2.5 months. All of our KPIs have improved. Our average channel time has gone down. Our absenteeism has improved down. Attrition has gone down to almost zero, right? From losing about 55 individuals per week, we're losing about 3 per week. Our KPI specific to the client, the rankings in Cebu site, for example, we've ended first place in scorecard for the whole enterprise,
Mhm.
and we ended up first place for the customer experience
Wow.
scorecard. So all of those indicators have improved ever since we moved from home. So I can testify in front of everyone here that it's been working great. Now,
Mm.
it's not for everyone, right? Work from home, like I mentioned before, some want to go back, some feel like they're more productive at the office, etc. Right? But it's so far as a company, we've seen that it's producing great results for us and for our clients.
Okay. Before I'll read the next question, I just would like to share with you that your employees, maybe they have not expressed this to you in person or even how to tell you, they are very much appreciative of what your company is doing to them, and they really love you from the bottom of their heart. Thank you. In
Thank
case you
you.
haven't heard that, but they do not know how to manifest it.
Thank you, team. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too.
I just have the honor to tell you that.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
my next question here. What example can you give that would motivate an employee to be engaged that does not require something monetary? Monetary.
Yeah, I think that we've learned through these last 3 months that it's not about money only, right? Life. When we had all the freedom to go out and do anything we wanted, right? Of course, money was needed for, I want to go to the movies, I need money to pay for it. I need to buy the popcorn, I need to buy the meal, I need to pay transportation. Money is required for everything, right? But now that we have a lot less options and a lot more limitations, and that's inclusive of us here in Houston, we're one of the epicenters in the States, right, of more cases, right? Um, we have a lot more time to spend time with our family. So that's a big incentive. I love the fact that I have my sons here and that had to come back from college and had to continue studying from home. My wife loves it. She's having to cook a lot more for a lot more people to feed, but she's the happiest person. So I think there's a lot of other ways to get motivated more than just the money. And one is family. The other one is, hey, let's be thankful. We have a job. We have the ability to provide for our families. So many
Yes.
don't have it. So many lost it. So many are going to lose it. There's thousands of companies that are closing their doors. There's
Mhm.
thousands of branch offices from big chains that were always there forever, ever, that are shutting down their stores forever. The airline industry, just to give an example, they're cutting down. United Airlines is going to cut down 50% of their workforce. American Airlines the same. And so if we look at the world out there, the realities we're facing, there's a lot to be thankful for. And so I think that should be a good motivator. And money, trust me, money is going to come and go, but there's other things that are more valuable.
Yes. Okay. We have two more questions before we can let you go back to sleep.
Oh,
Do
it's
you,
okay. Don't worry. I'm fully
okay.
awake now.
Do you think that rapid test or swab test of employees is necessary?
Well, one thing we've learned is that rapid test is important when you have someone that already had the virus, right? And we work with doctors and healthcare providers locally there, and we had to learn that the hard way. We thought rapid test was, hey, great, let's do rapid test for anyone that is a potential, right? Uh, a person with a virus or someone that we think was close to someone, but it works. It doesn't do anything for you unless the person has already had the virus and they already have the antibodies in their system. So rapid test very important if you use it properly, right? So somebody had it, maybe they went over, they're okay now, and you run the rapid test that's going to give you a positive, meaning they had the virus and they have the antibodies bodies. Okay, great. So that's important, not for everyone, it's only when it's needed. But then swab test, I think swab test is more relevant for those that we think have the virus, and if they're showing symptoms, we also learn swab testing works also at certain part of the contagious cycle of the virus, right? If you do it too early, you're going to get a negative, right? Because they don't have enough virus in their system. If you do it too late, the virus already gone. So you need to do it at the right time. And the swab test, we think, is the most trusted test when you think you have someone that has the virus, to be able to help them and then help them with quarantine and support them through the process, right?
Mhm.
So I hope that answers.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you're right. I think the swab test is more accurate as compared
Yes.
to the rapid test.
Yes.
Okay, and one last question. Thank you for sharing your best practices. We can definitely get some from what your company is doing. I believe that one of the key factors why things work out well because of your leaders and managers. My question is, what are your standards in choosing leaders and managers?
Oops. Well, I'll start with our big dream, and this is a big dream that was planted in the heart of Alfonso, our founder, by our Lord, is give as many job opportunities to those that work with us. So we try to promote from within. And I spoke about, our VP of operations, Angel, and he started as an agent, and eventually, 16 years later, he's the head of operations for our group. And that's a great example of, part of our condition, part of our profiling of those that we would like to lead a group is ideally they come from within. That's our number one option, right? So if we try to prepare them, we try to coach them and have them take some special courses, certifications, get educated in areas that they need to be ready for that next step. That's our ideal scenario. Now, there's times where we don't have the bench strength. We don't have those inside that could take on that next role, and we need to look outside. And so what we do is we look for someone that will, of course, be skillful in the role as a BPOer, right? Because if we're speaking about BPO company, we need to make sure someone comes with experience, depending on the role, of course. They've done this for X amount of years. They've proven to be successful at it. We check on their integrity big time and their ethics, right? Because whoever we bring in house, we need to make sure that has a very clear moral compass. That's a key driver for us, and he or she has made decisions based on the right decisions, that they made the right choices over the years. And one of the big drivers is, hey, they need to know who we are as a company. So we speak to them openly about our spirituality, consecration, and we need to make sure that they are compatible with that. Do we pre-select based on faith? No, but we need to make sure that they know what they're getting into, and we need to know that whoever that person is will come in and help that environment where one of our core drivers and one of our core values is spirituality. So that person should be at least welcoming of that, and then wanting to promote it for everyone else in the company, as well as all the other values, right? So it's not a one-person interview process. It takes a panel, and it's one at a time, and we're filtering out. And at the end of the day, we all get together and talk about. And sometimes we end up realizing, you know what, this person's not the right fit because of this, because of that. And so they go through all the different key individuals in their interview process, all the way up to our chief operating officer, and that's the last interview, especially when it's a leadership position in the company. But they go through all the management team and all the executives until we have all vetted them out and we feel he or she is the right fit for the company.
Okay, thank you very much. That was our last question, and indeed, the talk and the sharing that you have is very inspiring, motivating, and feels good, even if you are not connected with your company yet. Who knows in the future? Okay, at this point, please stay with us because I'd like to call on our president of PMAP Cebu Inc. to present this token of e-certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Grace Iligan.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon again, Sir Abel and Ma'am Vera.
Good
And
afternoon, Grace.
thank you, sir, for enjoying less sleep just with power nap in order for us to for you to be here with us this afternoon.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in behalf of PMAP Cebu, let me read this e-certificate of appreciation, which is given to Mr. Abelardo Cruz for his insightful conduct as a speaker of this webinar, leading a mission-driven remote team, keeping them engaged and high-performing, best practice sharing of a consecrated BPO to PMAP Cebu members and other participants on July 10, 2020. Signed by yours truly, Gracie Ligan, PhD, President of PMAP Cebu 2020, and also signed by Mr. Neil Antiquina, Technical Director and Chair of Membership Committee 2020 PMAP Cebu Inc. So thank you again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I love the balloons and I love the picture that you're putting here in the certificate. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, I'll see you in a while.
Yes, yes. Hopefully we'll see you soon. If not in person, at least virtually.
Oh, geez, virtually. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God
Thank you.
bless you all.
God bless also. Also, I would, in behalf also of PMAP Cebu, let me also give this virtual certificate to our very energetic, my God, seasoned, seasoned host, Miss Vera Chris Villamore. So, for her masterful facilitation of, as a host and as a moderator for this webinar this afternoon, leading a mission-driven remote team, keeping them engaged, and high-performing a best practice sharing of a consecrated BPO on July 10, 2020. Signed by yours truly, Grace Iligan, PhD, President 2020 PMAP Cebu Inc., and Mr. Neil Antiquina, Technical Director and Chair of Membership Committee 2020 PMAP Cebu Incorporated. So Ms. Ver, again, thank you so much. No
And,
one can do it better than you. So again, thank
and
you.
thank you for giving me
Round
this opportunity and the
of-
chance.
okay. So in behalf of CWAP Cebu, thank you again and take it from here. Thank you also everyone.
Okay. Thank you to everyone who joined. And speaking of season, as Grace was mentioning earlier, season speaker. Now we'll bring you to what we call season two of our PMAP Singing Idol. Yeah, we are bringing back PMAP, the search for a PMAP singing idol. This is now season two. This is open to all PMAP member companies. Registration will start as soon as we started distributing the form, and it's only up to August 1st. The audition will be on August 6th and 7th, depending on the number of participants. So please join us. We will have the preliminary round during our EGMM sometime in August as well. And then the second round will be in November, and the finals face off will be in December. Okay, so don't forget to join us, and we will be distributing very soon the registration form. Okay, let me close. Dili day ko manira, oy. Okay, just a quick one. One of the common attributes of companies that have high performance workplace culture is that they have clear, well specified purpose that states both how and why the company makes a positive impact to the world. It's their fundamental reason for existence beyond just making profit. This is not a feel good statement. It actually works towards pulling people forward, especially in difficult times. And you must have heard earlier, it helps people make better decisions, and it generates tremendous energy that aligns everyone together towards a common cause. So I'd say this to every manager and learning from this session. You have to trust your employees. This is an era and a time in which we have to learn from what we just heard. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. You can't see what people are doing, but you can equip them in the right ways, give them tasks, check on them like you've always done, and hope they produce in ways you always want. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another afternoon full of learnings, and we thank you very much. Our eloquent speaker, Mr. Abelardo Cruz, and his Qualphone team, headed by Miss Jocelyn Cannon Hartzell, and of course, our PMAP technical team, our sponsor IntelliCare, and to all our attendees for making this day a successful and eventful one. This is your host, Vera Chris Villamor. I am now signing off.